Tumultuous there the last few years because back in 2013, he got irate. Well, he'd been going downhill for a while mentally, and he couldn't hold a job, so he was stressed out. And in 2013, my brother came to live here, I guess at the end of 2012, and he, James, began to get more and more irate. If anybody disagreed with him on anything, he just couldn't stand it. Anyway, he began to, he had some problems when he was younger, but he began to, when he was 14, but he had begun to start talking to just a chair or something, like there was somebody in it, especially outside, out back where we have a little table and chairs, and he'd laugh weirdly, and he would say that he had precognitive dreams, such as back in 2011 when the Japanese tsunami happened. He claimed afterwards that he had told his brother and me and others that all about it, and nobody would listen to him, but he had not. He had not told anybody about it because he didn't know about it until he saw it on the internet. Then he, in 2013, or let's see, 2012 is when the Sandy Hook and Batman were. When the Batman thing happened, he claimed that he had known a bit about James Holmes, and he had told me about it. He had told Andrew about it. We wouldn't listen to him. We wouldn't do anything about it. I can't remember whether he said he told the FBI or not, but on some of this, he would even say he told the FBI. He called Washington, different things, and nobody would listen to him. But he had not. He only told us about this type of stuff after the fact. And he became got to where he looked at the news all the time, and every time there was a new thing, and really there was a little girl who was raped by some guys at a party, and they wrote on her, and she ended up committing suicide, a 15-year-old girl. And he went around the house for days saying, poor little pretty girl, poor little pretty girl, just grieving over the little girl, because he always liked little people, little children, little animals. He was very compassionate. When he was younger, he was the sweetest thing you could ever ask for.